Why did Trump attack Iran's nuclear sites? Where did all his anti-war promises go?
Great nations do not fight endless wars.
Was America deceived by Israel into Iran-Israel war? Does the Jews possess Trump's private videos? What's in the Epstein files and why is Trump scared of them? Is the Jewish lobby so powerful in America that it can drag the US into any war with it? So let's take a closer look at all the aspects of the America-Iran-Israel conflict in this video documentary. Trump is in fact an anti-war figure. He has always spoken about ending wars.
He will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
But under Israel's influence, he found himself playing a dangerous game with Iran. He covertly informed Iran that a minor attack was coming and that their nuclear program wouldn't be harmed. He asked for a little face-saving gesture in return. Iran in turn was expected to respond, and then both sides would step back and call it off. That's exactly what happened. But he wanted business. He was unconventional. He was against the establishment. He promised to halt the deep state's foreign bullying and focus on America itself.
Great nations do not fight endless wars.
That was the only reason he stood a chance to become president again. In his first term, Trump had ordered an immediate withdrawal of US troops from Syria and Afghanistan. If he hadn't, American forces would still be present there on a broad scale. Trump always advocated containing China by aligning with Russia. He repeatedly said that the real threat isn't Russia but China. He had always opposed war with Iran in the past. He also tried to stop the Gaza war and the Ukraine war. He humiliated Zelensky in the Oval Office to force a ceasefire, but Putin didn't agree, and in Gaza, the powerful Zionist lobby in America prevented any halt to the war. Eventually, Trump attacked Iran's nuclear sites. In response, Iran targeted US bases. Just days ago, Elon Musk tweeted that Trump is named in the Epstein files. It is said that the Zionist Jews possesses private videos of US politicians with underage girls. These videos were allegedly filmed by Mossad. There was a full-fledged plan to lure American politicians using underage American girls taken to the foreign islands. The scheme happened in phases and nearly all top US politicians fell into the honey trap. The central figure behind this Israeli operation was Jeffrey Epstein.
Could you please give us your name? Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein posed as a major businessman and built ties with US politicians. He gave them private jets, took them to the islands, and provided them with underage girls while everything was being secretly filmed. Later, he was arrested and mysteriously died in a jail. After his death, the case were abruptly shut and never reopened. The matter disappeared from the public discourse. Videos of a younger Trump dancing with Epstein and teenage girls are still online. Trump has also been proven to have paid large sums of money, allegedly from campaign funds, to silence women he had affairs with. That's why many now believe Trump is being blackmailed because of such videos. That's possibly why he was forced into a war with Iran, something that clearly does not serve American interest. All major American foreign policy experts have called this war a death sentence for the US. Normally, American war approvals go through Congress. The media builds a narrative and justifies the war to the public like they did during the Iraq war. But this time, no such brainwashing happened. And more importantly, this time, the public wouldn't have bought the war narrative either. The attack on Iran happened in violation of US laws and without congressional approval. Experts say this war could prove disastrous for America. The US economy is already weak, burdened by $36 trillion in debt. Iran's hypersonic missiles and the supersonic arsenal of Russia and China mean that if war reignites, that won't enter directly but supply Iran with everything: weapons, diplomacy, economy, and military support. This will help Iran in all ways except direct combat. Iranian hypersonic missiles could hit American cities. Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, the passage for global oil and gas. Iran could trigger an energy crisis that would hit the US economy the hardest. This war could end US influence in the Middle East. America has no effective air defense system deployed in the region, nor does it have enough air defenses to stop Iranian missile barrages. The US wants to remain in these seas and shores to counter China, but a war with Iran would make that nearly impossible. American citizens already harbor resentment toward Israel for the genocide in Gaza. For 2 years, they witnessed brutal bloodshed. The disturbing images flooded social media and anti-Israel sentiments grew. That's why for 2 years, the US and Europe saw constant protest in support of Palestine. So Americans don't support war against Iran. Inflation is already high in the US and the economy is in disarray. The $36 trillion debt is expected to hit $40 trillion in the next 5 years. Americans don't want to be dragged in another war, especially as the US currently pays $1.5 trillion annually just in interest. Past involvement in Middle East wars has already left the public with guilt and regret. If this war drags on, people will take to the streets like during the Vietnam War, and the longer the war, the worse it will be for the US and Israel. America's allies in the Arab world, ports, assets, infrastructure will also be endangered. The attack on Iran's nuclear site has united even Iran's liberal population. Even unveiled Iranian women are now appealing to the supreme leader to make Iran a nuclear power. Iran is a sovereign nation. Its nature is not to surrender. The way the US has humiliated Iranians globally, the genocide in Gaza, and Americans' backing of Israel, all combined with past US interventions in Iraq, in Syria, and in Libya, what makes America think Iranians will abandon their revolution or turn against their own state? That is a massive miscalculation. If the war between Iran and the US reignites and spreads, it could become a long, drawn-out historic conflict. It may end the same way World War II ended Britain's dominance and the Afghan jihad collapsed the Soviet Union. Both Britain and the USSR went bankrupt. Britain after World War II and the Soviets after the Afghan War. After the Iran-US war, America's status on the global stage would be reduced to that of a regular developed country scrambling to rebuild its shattered war economy. The US would lose its edge. As for Iran, it would be set back 40 to 50 years, but it would take the US down with it. China and Russia would fully support Iran indirectly to bring down American power. The support would be massive, but still indirect. If China or Russia intervened directly, it would become World War III. Also, if there's even a hint of a nuclear strike on Iran, Iran might conduct a nuclear test using borrowed technology. That possibly can't be ruled out. Pakistan also can't afford to lose Iran to American control. But it also can't afford direct confrontation with the US, playing a double game. Publicly with the US, but covertly with Iran. CPEC, the Belt and Road Initiative, Balochistan, maritime routes, all of these are shared interests between China and Pakistan. And so is their hidden defense strategy. Pakistan and China will jointly protect their interest inside Iran. Pakistan would never want a pro-Israel government next door, and the Israel-India nexus could destroy Pakistan. Now the question arises, can the US completely destroy Iran's nuclear program? The answer is no. Iran had claimed it shift its nuclear program before the attack. The claim is false. A nuclear program is not a small project or a suitcase to simply relocate. It's an empire, ecosystem, thousands of centrifuges, miles of piping systems working at precise temperatures and pressure, specialized electricity. The sites America hit, like Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordo, are underground, hidden under mountains, in solid rock to resist attacks. The surface structures may have been damaged, but the underground facilities remain untouched. If damage had occurred, radiation levels would have spiked, but according to the IAEA, no such radiation was detected. If the US had already hit those nuclear sites, it would have caused a Chernobyl-like disaster. A strike on Iran's nuclear sites could have released radiation not just in Iran, but in Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Turkey. But none of that happened, which means Iran's nuclear program is still intact and suffered no major damage.